Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to make some new spring florals. So let's do it. Okay, so to start I'm going to go through my materials. First I have my Arches watercolor paper, I have my Winsor Newton watercolor paints in my palette, and I have two brushes that I'm going to use. I have a size 12 Princeton snap brush and a size 2. Okay, so I'm going to be doing some spring florals, and the first one I'm going to show you how to do is a tulip. So I'm going to take my size 12 brush, and I think I'm going to do some orange tulips. And to do this, okay, so first you're going to make kind of like a C-stroke, how I showed you with the peony flower, but this is going to be kind of more of a longer C-stroke, so it's just like so. You got a light wash of your color. I'm just going to add a bit more water. And there's one petal. And then you're just going to do one backwards, like that. And you don't have to connect them. And you're going to want like a little bit of white space in between these two petals. And then you're just going to create a little curve on the top, like that. And then you can go back in with some darker color. So I'm just making my orangey color again. And I'm just gonna touch the top over here. I'm gonna go along the edge here and bring some of that color down to the base. Just dragging some lines, like so. Okay, now I'm gonna do another one. This one's gonna be kind of off to the side. So my long C-stroke petal, and then a backwards one, leaving that little bit of white space in between, and a little curve at the top. Get your darker color, so I just mix some red or some pink and yellow. And I'm just gonna touch up here at the top and then drag some lines down to the bottom. Now this one's a bit darker, but as long as it's still wet, it should blend nicely. Now if it doesn't look exactly like this, it's because of the paper you probably have. It works better with higher quality paper like Arches. So if you have lower quality, it might not blend as well. I'm just gonna add a bit more darkness on this one too. Like that. Okay, and now for the stem, I'm gonna take some of my sap green color, and it has kind of a thick stem. I'm not gonna touch it yet. I'm just gonna drag it down like this, and then I'm gonna go back in and touch the bottom of the tulip so it bleeds into the bottom a bit, like that. Sorry, like that. And then I'm gonna do the leaves. So tulip leaves are long and thick, like that, just using the shape of my brush. Bring it up, and I have a curve at the end, like so. Like that. And I'm just going to go back in with some darker green and just touch parts of the stem, parts of the leaves, just to give it a bit more variety and depth. Make it a little more interesting to look at. Like that. And there are two tulips. Okay, so the next flower I'm gonna do some lavender sprigs, which I think are totally cute and super easy. So I'm just gonna make my lavender color here, which I have a mauve color that I mix, and then a really light blue. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so now I'm gonna do some lavender sprigs. All right. These are fairly easy. You're just gonna kind of use the shape of your brush to create little petals. And by petals, I don't know what I mean. They're kind of just like little lines, right? They're thicker lines. Just going outwards. And I'm leaving white space in the middle between they're like layers almost. Okay, and I have a light wash of my lavender color. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of, you know, enjoy it. Like that. I'm gonna do another one, maybe a short one here. And they're just kind of like in sections. So just little lines like that. And then I'm gonna go back in with my color, get a bit darker, and I'm just gonna touch little parts of it to darken up some bits, just to give it some contrast of lighter and darker parts, like that. And then I'm gonna make the stem. So I'm gonna use my smaller brush for this, just because it's a smaller stem. I'm gonna start from the bottom, and I'm just going to drag it up and touch a little bit of each part. So you're not dragging it all the way through, but you're kind of connecting the sections by gently touching the purple. So it kind of bleeds into the purple. Gives it a nice effect. And sometimes maybe the green might overpower, but if that just happens, you can, here I'll show you, you can mop it up a bit with your paper towel, like so. And then you can go back in with your purple and just go over that bit that was taken over by the green. And there you go, there's some lavender. Okay, now the next spring flower I'm gonna do is freesia. So freesia isn't really a flower that I was familiar with before, but I saw them and they're beautiful. So I'm gonna try my best to do these. Let's do an orange, an orangey freesia. Okay. Okay, so for all of these flowers, I look up reference photos on my Pinterest. Here, I'll just show you quickly, just to see what they look like. So I usually always use a reference photo when I'm painting flowers, or real flowers if I have them. So if that helps you, do it. Pinterest is great. Okay, so they have a bit longer petals. So I'm just gonna do one petal here, one petal here, one here, and then kind of like a curve here. So it's a petal, but you can't really, it's not going out. It's kind of like the open version of it. Okay, so there's one, and then this one is going to be a bit more vertical. Now you want to make sure you leave that white space. like that. And then the next one is going to be a bit more closed. It's like a little bulb. And then another little one. Now I'm going to do another big one down here. So the way these flowers kind of go are that the more open they are, closer to the stem. And then they kind of go smaller into little bulbs. Okay. So now I'm going to go back in with my darker color. So it's going to be like an orangey red one. And I'm just going to go, actually, these ones are going to be darker, closer to the edges. Like that. And then it's kind of more yellow, closer to the middle, like a yellowy orange. Okay, so now for the stem. So I'm going to take my smaller brush again, get my green paint, and the stem kind of goes up, touches the first one. It's going to connect to the second one. I like to let the color bleed into it a bit. It's going to connect, touch the next one, and then it kind of just keeps going like that. And then there are little kind of like bulbs towards the end, like so. And if it looks a little odd, maybe you could add another flower there. I might do that just to make it look a bit more appealing. Like that. Oops. Like that. And there is your freesia. Okay, and now the next one I'm gonna do is a peony. So I've done this many times before, but it seems to be a hit with people, so I thought I'd just do it again. Because it's a spring flower, it's my favorite spring flower. And I want to. But I'll give you a different perspective on this one. So I'm going to show you a different way. Okay, so just gotta always make sure my paintings are in frame. Okay, so for this one, this peony, what you're going to do is you're going to make a V. This is going to be the inside. I just dried off my brush a bit because there was a bit too much water. You're going to make a V. Okay, and then you're going to, with your light wash, you're just going to kind of bring it up like so. Then you are going to create kind of like an uneven petal pattern, kind of like waves almost. And then you're going to bring these up, but not touch where the V is. I mean, if you do, it's okay. You're just going to bring it up. This is with your light wash, okay? And then you're going to create a curve, kind of like a U. And with your light wash, you're going to bring that up as well. Try not to touch the bottom of the next layer. Like that. And then you're going to create curves kind of around the top and around the side. And then you're gonna do some petals falling. So petal down here, kind of wherever you think they should go. Petal here, petal here, petal here. Now you're gonna go back in with your dark color and you're gonna go to the bottom of every layer. So the bottom of the V here, the bottom of this kind of wave, oops, here. Now it's soaking into that part, which is okay. I mean, ideally you don't want that to happen, but that's okay if it does. It doesn't have to be perfect. They're loose florals, right? At the bottom of the curve of the U, you want it to bleed, blend in, and then the connecting petals. Okay? And then you can just take your dark color and just kind of go around the sides like so. Making darker parts. You can go back in, make it darker if you like, however you want. And then I'm going to take my little brush, I'm going to take some yellow and I'm just going to flick out some parts like that. And there is my peony. I'm going to actually add some leaves to this one too. Just down here, the falling petals. You can touch the pink if you like, have it bleed into the green. And there you go. Might go back in, add some darker bits to the leaves. And there is your peony flower. Okay, so we have 4 flowers. Next, what we're gonna do is one of my favorite spring flowers, another one, are lilacs. Lilac, however you say it. Love them, they smell amazing. Every time we walk past a lilac bush, I always have to stop and smell them. My husband thinks I'm nuts, but I do it anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna use my purple color again. So I have my mauve and a bit of light blue, like that. Okay. And with this, you're just gonna roughly create little petals. So just kind of like, I have a bit too much water on it, it's pooling. So you're just gonna create little, almost like an upside down teardrop shape. Just a bunch of them, but really roughly, so don't get worried if it doesn't look like that. Just be really kind of messy with it, but create lots of white space. That's the key to this one, is just making sure you have lots of white space. Because that really helps it looking like a lilac. Just kind of rough it up. Don't think too much about it. And it's just going to be kind of like in a cone-ish shape, but it doesn't have to be either. I mean, they're kind of all over the place, these flowers, but I'm doing a light wash because I'm going to go back in with some darker purple just to create some like shadow and depth. It really adds to loose flowers. Like that, and I'm going to go back in with my mauve. I'm just going to touch little bits. Might even get my light blue back again. You can even have different purples in there too. You don't have to stick to one. Just kind of give it something interesting to look. Make it something interesting to look at. I can speak, I promise. No, I can't. Like that. And then you're gonna take your small brush with your green, and you're gonna kind of do the same thing you did with the lavender. You're gonna create a stem. And they kind of have these little notches in the stem. I'm gonna do it, actually, I'm gonna kind of create a brownish green. So I'm just gonna take a bit of orange. Or you could take red. Mix it with your green a bit. And it creates like a olivey brown green, which is the color of the stem. And using those white spaces, you're just gonna create little stems kind of connecting, not everywhere. Go through those white spaces, kind of up through the middle, out through the sides, like so. And there you go. So there are 5 spring florals that you can paint and create and turn into a bouquet if you like, and that's about it.
Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos and follow me on Instagram for even more. Have a great day, guys. Bye. Can you say bye?
Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
You saying bye-bye?